Hello, anyone and everyone. I am Echo, and today we are exploring Fallout 3. We are here, just to the west of Smith Casey's garage. This, well, not just to the west of it. We're out a little ways. I've gone and tracked down this location, which is something that anybody who's played Fallout 3 will probably be familiar with the name. Door to Rockopolis. Or Rockopolis. Yeah, sorry for horrible pronunciation there. But maybe not many people have seen. Now this is actually... we haven't been listening to the radio for, a lot of reasons. Because, for one, this is a playthrough with commentary. The radio and my commentary would be, fighting for attention. That would kind of ruin the point of having either of them. But also, it's all copyrighted music that they play on the radio, and that would just get my videos flagged for copyright infringement stuff even more often than they already do, which is, like, every once in a while one of them pops up because I'll walk into a building that has a radio going and I won't notice it, and it'll play for, like, longer than 10 seconds, which is more than enough to, alert YouTube's automated little thingy. But so yeah, I don't use the radio, but occasionally on the radio they do play these little like radio stories where they talk about Herbert Dashwood and his ghoul manservant named Argyle. And it's a series of different ones where they talk about their adventures through this place called Rockopolis, where basically it's like an underground city filled with rock people or something like that. I don't quite remember. It's been a while since I listened to them. And down here, rollings, we're done. Okay, the desk is empty. And the wardrobe has your baseball cap and some sexy sleepwear. Okay, don't need those. Let's listen to the note first. Rollings, we're done. Oh, and wait, did I never listen to these personal entries?
I spoke with Dr. Lee Madison at Rivet City. It went about as well as I expected. That is to say, she thinks I'm completely mad. How can I blame her? She's got her own life, her own team, and is making real, tangible scientific progress. Here I come again, a very paragon of failure and false promises. But the reality is, I need Madison and whatever scientific team she may have assembled. I can't do this myself. Project Purity is bigger than me. It always was. And without Catherine, God, I can't let this die. Not again. Not like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I forgot to listen to these. Let's let's do that real quick before I continue with the other thing.
So, here I am, back where it all began. Project Purity. God, we wanted to change the world. We really thought the waters of life could be a reality. And that's why this is a momentous occasion. Because even after 19 years, I still believe it. Project Purity can and will be operational. This is just the beginning. This is day 2 of my attempt to resurrect this project. I've got one of the portable fusion generators up and running, but it's just enough to power the emergency lighting and a couple of other systems. That will serve for now, but I need help powering up the mainframe. I am to visit Madison at Rivet City.
Okay, nothing else down here that I missed, right? No, okay, good. Alright, let's get to this other personal journal.
Well, here we are again. Project Purity and me. It's been close to 20 years since my last entry, since I left all of this behind to make a life for my son. We've spent that time in Vault 101, tucked away from the rest of the world. It wasn't perfect, but it was safe, and that's all I could have hoped for. Now my son is a grown man, handsome, intelligent, confident, just like his old man. And as hard as it was to admit it, he doesn't need his daddy anymore.
Okay, better days?
That batch of tests was inconclusive, but Madison and I are convinced it's a problem with the secondary filtration system. We're going to recalibrate the equipment and try again tomorrow, so that... James, please. I'm trying to work. Now's not the time. So that's the next step. Assuming we get the results we need, we'll move on to... James! Stop! I need to finish these notes. We'll move on to diagnosing the issues with the radiation dampeners. That should... Ow! James! Now? We really shouldn't.
Yeah, okay. Revelation 21:6. We already know all about that. I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Yes. Scribe Jameson's reports to Elder, I've read the recent reports on the number of paladins and knights that have not reported in when expected. I understand the chaotic nature of the situation in the field, but tradition demands that each brother who falls in battle have their death recorded in the scrolls. To not put forward our best effort to recover proof of who has fallen and who has lived is unthinkable. I understand that every brother is needed for the efforts here at the Citadel and in the city nearby. To that end, I intend to contract with outsiders in order to recover proof of which of our brethren have fallen to the enemy. I will ask that they recover dog tags from any fallen brother that they find. It is the least we can do without the resources for a full and honorable funeral for them. You needn't worry about providing rewards for these contractors. I will pay them from my personal funds. It is well worth it to me to be able to keep both the tradition and not stress the resources from your mission. Yours in steel, Scribe Elizabeth Jameson, Head Librarian, Order of the Quill, DC Bunker. Okay, now to get to the actual point. Rawlings, we're done. Rawlings. That's the last of these fucking hole dwellers. Julie wants to shop them around up north. Not sure if they'll make good slaves since their eyesight is so shitty, but that's not our problem. So gather the boys and saddle up. Next stop, the pit. Huh, interesting. I've never actually been here before in any previous playthroughs. I've never read this before. And I don't remember. Is Rawlings the name of one of the, people from the Pit DLC, perhaps? I'm not sure. But anyways, so there's that. And then there's this. Which is Argyle. Poor dead Argyle. And a bobblehead, unarmed. Found a Vault-Tec bobblehead, limited edition bobblehead. Whoops, I said that wrong. Oh well, the inscription on the base reads, when words fail, there's always fists. Your unarmed skill has been permanently increased by 10 points. Great. So yes, in the radio things, Herbert Dashwood and his ghoul-man servant Argyle, they talk about, this place, Rockopolis, that they go and visit, and there's like mole people or rock people or whatever living there, and they go on this great adventure, and the last story has them trying to escape from the caves when there's a cave-in going on. And this would seem to be Argyle. Bottle cap, 20, Merc Grunt outfit. I don't think we need that. But we have found him at least. So that's that. I kind of wish there was like a note or something on his body. I hope this will work, but the reason I bring this all up, the reason I've shown this all to you, is quite simply because, let's go back to that good old world map. Herbert Dashwood actually lives in Tenpenny Tower, and it is an unmarked quest to go and find Argyle's body.
Give me a second. Keep your pen.
And tell him of Argyle's fate. Now, don't ask me if, don't ask me how they were able to record those radio stories if Argyle and him got separated. They couldn't have possibly recorded those at the time, When you listen to them, it's, the audio quality is too good to possibly have recorded those things at the time of the events happening. They can't be live recordings. I honestly don't know where Dashwood is supposed to be, so I'm just kind of looking all around. And, if Argyle and him got separated and he never knew if Argyle was dead or not, then that makes it does that mean, like, they got a different ghoul to just do the voice work for, for Argyle's part in the, whoops, wrong place. Yeah, did they just, like, hire a different ghoul to do the voice work for Argyle's part in the radio stories? Can't be sure. And actually, we can... What am I going in and actually looking in every room for? We can see through the walls if there are people in here. We should be able to. Michael Hawthorne. Susan Lancaster. Nope, we don't want to talk to them. Not yet.
Good to see you.
Don't want to talk to them either. Oh, is this free food? Is this not stealing? Yeah, it's stealing. Crap, never mind. Should be somebody in here, right? Edgar Wellington II. Wellington is, like, the best pretend pompous, like, name ever. Not even necessarily pretend, but, whatever. Actually, can we, Dashwood say, oh, this is his room! Makes sense, he's got all these, like, skulls and, like, random adventurous-looking things in here. Like this. That's a baby's, thing. I forget what they're called. He's not in here, is he? Nope. Where the hell did you go, Dashwood? Oh, hey, Herbert Dashwood. Yo.
Herbert Dashwood. Damn glad to meet you. Call me Daring. Everyone else does.
Daring? Bet you had to earn that nickname, huh?
Maybe you've heard the GNR radio play? The Adventures of Herbert Daring Dashwood? That's about me, Based on my, earlier days. I even had a ghoul manservant. Let me ask you, you ever met a ghoul before?
Sure, I know lots of ghouls. Killed my share, too. Only one thing I like less than ghouls. Old geezers giving me orders. Sure, I've met some ghouls. They're just people trying to get by.
Ah, you've already learned some wisdom in your youth. Congratulations.
Uh-huh. Do you know anything about the basement and emergency tunnels? You mentioned something about GNR. How would you feel about having a few ghoul neighbors? I bet you know a thing or two about those ghouls. What's it like living in 10-parent ghoul? How would you feel about having a few ghoul neighbors?
Well, I wouldn't mind, but they'd better be civilized. The tenants here are real uppity, and most wouldn't take kindly to ghouls living here.
So you wouldn't mind if some civilized ghouls moved in?
Like I said, it's fine by me.
Would you tell Mr. Tenpenny that we wouldn't mind ghoul neighbors?
Of course. I wonder if they've ever been to Underworld. Now there's an interesting vacation destination.
Mentioned something about GNR. What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower? Mentioned something about GNR?
Haven't you ever heard the radio play? The Adventures of Herbert Daring Dashwood? That guy at the radio station put it together a few years ago. He did it in the style of those shows they had before the war. Came out pretty well. And it's all true. Rockopolis, Miss Chase, all of it. Of course, they do portray me as a bit of a chump. Argyle may have saved my hide more than once, but I had my moments. Ah, those were the days.
Tell me about Argyle.
Argyle was my manservant. Ah, but that's really just a fancy word for the guy who saves my sorry skin on a regular occasion. He was a ghoul, you see. Been around since before the war. We met when I stole his girlfriend back in '41. We'd been best friends ever since. We got separated a long time ago and never reunited. If you find Argyle out there somewhere, you be sure and tell me, okay?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I found Argyle. I'm afraid he's dead.
Dead? Argyle? You're sure? My God. I always thought he'd outlive me by at least 100 years. Poor bastard. But thank you. Thank you for telling me. At least now I know. At least now the poor guy can catch a breather. I'd like to return your kindness. Here, take this key. It unlocks my safe. Lots of stuff in there I'll never use again. My adventuring days are over.
Okay. What's it like living in Tenpenny Tower?
Well, until recently, the only danger you ever faced in this fine establishment was bumping into all the bloated egos floating around. But now there's a group of ghouls nearby. I've tried explaining that they don't all want to eat you, though some do, of course. Problem is, it's hard to tell which is which. Chief Gustavo has initiated a shoot first and ask later policy. If they're smart, they'll stay away.
Okay, alright, gotta go. Yes, thank you. And now we can go get his safe, which I don't actually know what it has in it, but, well, here, hey, look at that. Bottle caps, Mentats, Mini Nuke, Rad X, Rad Away, Schematics for the Bottle Cap Mine, Stealth Boy, and Stim Packs. All good stuff. Thank you very much, Herbert. Mr. Dashwood. So yeah, this is the problem that I'm facing, because there's 3 ways to complete the quest that I'm currently on. One way is to convince everyone to let the ghouls live here, and that's supposed to be like the peaceful way. But then even if you do it that way, all the people, including Herbert Dashwood, this kind old man who was friends with a ghoul, and, you know, everything like that, and understands that they're not all, like, zombies or whatever, they all end up getting killed anyways. You know, Roy Phillips ends up saying that that there was a misunderstanding, and they ended up having to kill them all or something like that, you know? Or you can lead Roy to just go in here and kill them, or you can kill Roy, and Roy himself is an a-hole, but his followers, all his little gang dudes, they're not. They're fine people. The people who live here are probably all, you know, a bit snooty and crap, but
Hey there.
I mean, there's a ton of them. How can you justify killing a mass amount of people, even if they're all bad? You know? None of these people, that lady there, all these other people asleep in their rooms, they're not actively going out and hurting people. They might be assholes, they might be pompous, snooty, selfish, or whatever, but they're still not, like, they're not enacting violence. And any way you finish this quest, someone's gotta die, which makes it very hard to end this quest. And, well, you know, I guess for now we'll just,
We are safe from the waste.
oh, she doesn't want to talk, okay. For now, I'm just going to go around, talk to everybody. I'm going to go through the convincing dialogue, and we'll see what happens.
Edgar Wellington II. Have you met my wife, Millicent? Hold on. Who let you in here?
Don't worry, I was let in at the front gate.
Very well. As long as security is aware of your presence. Can't be too careful these days. What with these ghouls and all. Gustavo says he has the situation well in order, but I wonder if he's really trying. Don't suppose you ran into any ghouls on your way in here?
I've seen lots of ghouls, hate every last one of them. I don't consider ghouls to be a problem, if that's what you're asking.
Then you obviously don't know anything about ghouls.
You ever been to the basement? How would you feel about having a few ghoul neighbors?
You're joking, right? You serious? Of course not. Ghouls can't live here. They're dirty, loathsome creatures.
I've met ghouls before. They're civilized and pose no threat.
I'm afraid I can't abide by that. I can't imagine Tenpenny would allow it. But I certainly won't.
This is happening. You're going to have to deal with it or get forced out.
This is outrageous, preposterous, forced out by a bunch of dirty ghouls and some bleeding heart activist? Where will I live? How will I get there?
Uh-huh. I'm sure you'll find something suitable. Don't worry. I don't care. Get your stuff together and get out of here.
I never forget a slight. Watch your back. I'll be sending someone to pay you a little visit in the future.
Is he actually going to leave? Because if that's possible, let's see what Millicent says.
Introductions are in order. I am Mrs. Edgar Wellington. You may refer to me as Madam or My Lady Wellington.
Sure, whatever.
Just as I thought. The end of the world happens and everyone forgets their manners. I bet you were raised in one of those vault things. Ah! Or worse, raised by a pack of disgusting ghouls. You know much about ghouls?
For people who don't like ghouls, you sure spend a lot of time talking about them. Not afraid of ghouls. Don't like ghouls any more than you. I'd rather spend time with ghouls than some other people I know.
I do hope you're not referring to me. I'm certainly a better conversationalist than some stupid ghoul. And I smell better, too.
Do you know what's in how you feel about ghoul neighbors? Yeah.
Dear Lord, are you serious? Ghouls? Living here? With us? That's simply out of the question.
I met these ghouls. They're civilized and pose no threat.
Ha! I think I know a fair share more than some vagrant blown in off the wastes. You are simply mistaken. They may appear nice, but deep down, they want to kill. It's common knowledge among the educated. You clearly don't know what you're talking about.
This is happening. Get out.
Damn it! This can't be happening! Why do you think I came here in the first place? To get away from ghouls, monsters, and scum like you. Now I'll have to start all over again. Where will I go?
I'm sure you'll find something suitable. Don't worry. But I don't give a shit.
My husband has connections. Watch your back.
Yeah. Alright, well that's another possible... I don't actually know if this is actually a viable way to finish the quest. Could we just like convince everybody to leave? Let's see. He doesn't want to talk. What about her? Susan Lancaster? She's got a name, that means she's an important person.
Well, well, what have we here? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Susan Lancaster. Perhaps we can become better acquainted in the near future.
Uh-huh. You bet. I like meeting new people. I'm a little busy at the moment. Maybe you can chat later.
Your loss. You fancy yourself a man of action? Think you're man enough to handle a couple of ghouls?
Ghouls aren't so bad once you get to know them.
Fine. Never mind. I thought you were a real man. Turns out you're just a scared little boy.
How would you feel about having a few ghoul neighbors?
I've come too far to share my digs with some droopy ghoul.
I've met these ghouls. They aren't so bad.
Well, if you don't mind their stink, then you should go squat with them in their dirty tunnels and leave us civilized people alone.
Oh, too bad it's happening.
I'm done with the wasteland, and I've been everywhere else. There isn't anything better than this. Damn you and your ghouls.
I don't care. Get your stuff together and get out.
I'm not going. I'll talk to Tenpenny. I bet I can live in Burke's place. He's never around anyway. And when he does come back, I'll make sure he's fine with the new arrangement. I'll just send up for my food. I'll never even have to look at you or your ghoul buddies.
It's nice of you to get dressed after talking to me. Yeah. Well, anyway, unfortunately, that took longer than I thought it would. I guess it's my own fault for rambling, probably, but, oh well. So I'm gonna have to end the video here, but, we definitely will finish the quest next time, when I come back. And I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just try to convince everybody to leave. Maybe that's, maybe that is an actual non-violent way to resolve the quest, or maybe it's just going to completely ignore it and they're not actually going to leave, and maybe they're all going to stay here anyways, and that's just like another way of completing the version where they supposedly are okay with the ghouls living there, you know, like technically.
Good to see. Tenpenny Tower is a wonderful place to live, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, okay. But anyway, we'll find that out next time, I guess.
Listen to what you're doing.
And I will see you all in the next episode.
Charmed.
Bye-bye.